I think one of the things I love about your book is I feel like you attempt to do what you say in the title, which is to encourage people to think carefully and engage wisely, not only by giving people resources to do that, but also by leaving that little section where you say, okay, so these are actually questions that we can still debate, that what we're presenting is not saying that this is the answer, but that there are so many other things that we can still debate, even as we try to think through how to engage wisely. And so it just made me wonder who is this book for? Like, what is your audience? What is your intended?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Is it grandiose to say, I think any Christian today could benefit from reading this book? My hope is that that's the case, that we've written this in such a way that it doesn't require, there's not a high barrier of entry.
Right.
It's relatively accessible. We're not policy experts.
Right.
And one of the features of our lives today is that we have to make judgments about things that we're not experts in. We're thrown into it.
So true.
And so we wanted to write a book for folks who aren't experts. I don't know, anybody who's willing to have a conversation with us is somebody who I'm willing to have a conversation with. And that's what we're aiming for in this book. Transformation of conversation that I hope will lead, if it's done in good faith, to some transformations of our public life. There are conclusions I hope we come to, but I'm really invested, and I think we both were in writing this book, in leaving those questions, right? The room for debate, and say we think these are things we should all agree on. I mean, tell us if you disagree, and we'll argue about it. But let's try to get to agreement here, and then these questions still remain. And the kind of the public good, the common good, if you want to use that term, is something that always has to be reasoned to. Times are always changing. The world is always changing. We believe in a living God who is kind of capable of being at move, at least from our perspective, on the move in the world. And so following is a matter of discernment always and everywhere. And that's why the open-endedness of the book. We're not trying to give once and for all answers, but we're trying to discern for here and now, going forward, and then hopefully we can keep doing that together. I mean, this is an important moment in our public lives in the United States. If this book can do some good around the margins, maybe I'll put it this way. If you're somebody who is somewhat distraught, who is looking for a way forward, this might not be that full way, but maybe it's a step. And maybe you'll figure out where the next step is after that, and you can tell us. And together we can start doing something constructive here.